Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. We have finally got the trailer for the MonsterVerse's next MonsterVerse movie, and it looks freaking insane. It came out in December, just like your boy said months ago. It came out on Sunday, just like your boy said it would. So, Warstu, play that trailer. Then we're going to do a trailer breakdown and show you and tell you some things that you may or may not have missed. If I actually missed some things, drop in the comments down below. And we're also going to overlay it to how it correlates to the plot leaks. So, play that trailer, boy. Warstu. Trailer was absolutely insane. Let me know all your theories and what you're thinking about said trailer down below. We're going to break down the trailer. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around and make sure to never miss any of the Kaiju, MonsterVerse, Marvel, DC pop culture based content that I try to do on a daily basis. If you're good, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and also if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. If you want to talk to me, engage with me on Twitter or x.com, WarstuG. Right, let's talk about the trailer. So, the original working title that was given to the Hollywood publications was Son of Kong. Now, this makes sense. Why? Because we literally see what looks like Scar King, who is the main villain based on this trailer, try. We see a young ape-looking orangutan. Potentially, he is Suku. So, the original working title was Son of Kong, but it appears they shifted away from that movie title because they know if they want to make bang, they have to have Godzilla being in the movie a lot more, because Godzilla is the top G and he is way more popular than Kong. Is he? We don't know, because we haven't had a Kong fully centric movie since Kong Skull Island. So the trailer starts with some kind of, is it seismic machine that's got some kind of scale system on it? I'm not very technical when it comes to machines like that. And the trailer does confirm, I'm going to try not to talk about plot leaks and spoilers, but we're going to have to. The trailer does confirm literally everything is true, and there is certain people making out there's so much more of the movie than what was revealed in the trailer. I hate to tell you, there isn't really that much more to reveal, although there is. Or am I playing coy? We don't know. So we see Hollow Earth briefly. Hollow Earth will be the centric part of where Scar King is, because as we know, based on rumors and information out there, Scar King is down there because someone trapped him down there. Maybe Top G, Godzilla. We don't, actually we do know. So what we do see is we see Kong has the Infinity Gauntlet, because we see some kind of portal, some kind of thing appears in front or just under the pyramids. Now this is interesting because the toy leaks had Kong having a mechanical arm, which was confirmed by the trailer. I thought they kind of ruined a massive plot point before the trailer even came out, when Legendary officially confirmed that Top G Godzilla is going to keep evolving, and Godzilla's dorsal plates, well, in the toy it looks red, but in the trailer it looks more like pink. So what basically has to happen from a marketing standpoint is, as I've explained before, movies make money on merchandise. You have to keep evolving Godzilla to sell merch. You have to keep giving Kong new things, hence why he got the axe, hence why he's got the armor. His arm's probably going to get smashed up. Now, we don't know the context of where all these trailer shots actually play out in the movie. As we know, this pyramid scene is most likely not going to be right at the start of said movie, because we know if you go based on plot leaks, that the movie is allegedly supposed to start with Top G Godzilla himself fighting a new titan called Arachnic, which is apparently during the opening credits, and apparently he hibernates in a Colosseum of Rome after some kind of battle. But what is interesting is it also goes on to say that Kong, meanwhile, has stayed down on the Hollow Earth. It's set just after Godzilla vs. Kong. Humanity is more embracing towards Big G and what he does. So Kong has been down in Hollow Earth. We see him fighting jackals, and we see him fighting various creatures down there. But something has to happen in order for Scar King and his tribe to be awakening. So this trailer does kind of give you a vibe that we're going to get more of the human aspect of the movie based on test screening information. That is true. Me personally, we here on the Warstu channel, we don't care about the human side. We just want to see Godzilla, Kong, and everyone else, all the other kind of creatures, titans, just smash each other in the absolute face. So what happens, and you actually see this play out in the trailer, is Kong somehow inadvertently awakens an evil ape that was stuck in Hollow Earth and trapped with his tribe called Scar King. And that's kind of the bit where we see Suku. And this happens whilst he's chasing some kind of jackals, you could say. Now, it appears that Godzilla senses this and wakes up as well as Gia at the same time. Now, in the original tease, we got Scar King. We got the bones on the floor, on the ground, if you like. And we also see this in the actual trailer. So a lot of said plot leaks actually comes to fruition in said trailer. Let's not pretend we all know the plot leak's true, but it's different to reading the plot leak and seeing how it actually plays out. And I see there's a lot of criticism online for the CG, for the VFX. You are aware some of these shots are complete animation. Adam Wingard went on to say, there's a scene that's 8 minutes long and it's literally pure animation. You've also got to understand, this is not the finished product. It's still in post-production. It's not complete. Trailers are never complete, and the complete movie will look much better than a said trailer will look. So Kong's hand comes flying out of the pyramid. Well, it kind of flies into the pyramids, if you like. It doesn't show us who he's fighting. Cut off Shimu. Who's Shimu? I don't know. What is Shimu? But it would be cool if they don't reveal too much in the second trailer. Studios have this thing where they like to ruin their own movies in marketing, but in the case of movies like No Way Home, I think the whole is Toby, is Andrew in Spider-Man No Way Home really added to the hype. We get to see a lot more of the Hollow Earth and to see how deep and vast it actually is. If you want to add more context, watch Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, because that's giving us even more background information. It's currently screening on Apple TV. We see Kong being an absolute G, but in this part, he hasn't got his new arm yet, which is fascinating because when he's jumping it out of the pyramids from some kind of portal or thing underneath it, he's got his armor. So we know Kong's probably going to get smashed from Scar King, and Monarch's going to have to step in and help him. As we know, Dan Stevenson is in this movie. According to information, he is he's essentially Kong's dentist, some kind of flamboyant, over-the-top Jack Sparrow-like character. Something's going to have to happen to Kong, because they're not just going to give him the freaking Infinity Gauntlet. It really does look like they've given him the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, there's a lot of people taking the absolute out of the scene where Godzilla and Kong are running side by side. I get it. Green screen, animation, scale. It's really hard to scale something like this, but you shouldn't criticize it on a trailer. Let's wait till we see the actual movie before you start to criticize a movie that's not even out, because the movie trailer was really good. It was much better than I anticipated. It gave us so much information without really ruining too much. And we really see how Adam Wingard and his team have really gone to town and really tried their best to do so much more in Hollow Earth. Although we know the movie won't just take place in Hollow Earth, we will definitely see other parts of the world, because we see the pyramids and there's lots of other places that we will be seeing. Coming 2024, which is cool because it's December. There's so much time to hype this movie up, because Godzilla vs. Kong didn't really get much of a proper hype up, if you ask me. So Millie Bobby Brown's character isn't in this movie. I don't know why, they haven't really said it. Kong still has his axe. It's a little bit weird for me that Kong has his axe, but it's going to be interesting because Kong has never met anyone the same species as him. So it's going to be a heartbreaking movie, really, because Kong's going to think Scar King and his tribes are his kind of people, and then they try and kill him. So it's fascinating because there's some dialogue in the trailer where Rebecca Hall's character is like, oh, there's too much for Kong. And she's like, he's not going to be alone. So it's Godzilla and Kong teaming up to take out Scar King 2-on-1, and then it's going to be somehow a 2v2 when someone else maybe appears or doesn't appear. There's a really cool shot where Kong's getting his axe ready to charge, and then it's a baby orangutan, and this most likely will be Suku, who is the character that Kong will adopt. When Dan Stevenson and Rebecca Hall character first see the red ape's mark of his hand, they're like, that's too big to be Kong. Apparently, scale of how tall Scar King is, apparently Scar King is going to make Godzilla look small, which, seeing as Godzilla is around 400 feet, Scar King's supposed to be up to 500 feet. I'm just estimating, but you can tell just based on the scale of his hand that Scar King is going to be freaking insanely big. So it does make sense why Kong will need help from the top G. We know the top G is going to evolve because we've seen that before the trailer came out. There's a scene where Kong kind of like slips down some kind of crystal-like cave, maybe, and he sees skulls of what look like of his ancestors. And then Kong's thinking, obviously, Kong's not human, but we know we all derive from apes. And then this is where we get to see the tribe of apes, which is freaking insane. And it shows us a scene that shows us that Scar King is the Don, is the top G of their tribe. We see a bunch of creatures chasing Kong, and he jumps over some kind of massive cliff. It looks pretty cool. It looks like they are trying to do the human aspect, but not take itself too seriously. I think this is going to be a real emotional movie for Kong, because Kong's just wanted to see someone like him. What he does, they try and kill him. We see a top Jonas. Yeah, I said top Jonas of Godzilla evolving to pink. I mean, they're calling him the evolved Godzilla, which is interesting, because a lot of people think, oh, he's just going fire. He's going fire. No, evidently it's clearly pink. Then we get some shots of Scar King's tribe. And to be fair, they do look terrifying for apes, and we get to see all of them. But it doesn't really show you the size difference between Scar King and his tribe of orangutans. It shows you him roaring, but we don't really get to see the scale, the scope of how big he is compared to the rest of them. Now we see how small Suku is compared to Kong. That's going to be really cute, and I hope that's something that they actually show you, the kind of humanity that Kong has, even though we already know that. And then we get the full-on evolution of Godzilla going freaking, but okay, he's not going binary. And then Kong and Godzilla roar at each other, but are they? They're pretty much not. Then we see the scene that a lot of people are trolling online, where Kong and Godzilla are running side by side. It's just it's a homage. It's a homage scene, realistically, but the scale and scope of how big they both are, it's well out of whack. But you kind of like got to take the scale and scope out of things sometimes, because you've got to realize it is a movie. But this is where you clearly see Kong has the Infinity Gauntlet. It's the wrong universe. So the Infinity Stones ain't going to do because if it's not in the MCU, if it's not the 616, it's not going to work. So a lot of people are criticizing that scene, but let's just wait for the movie to come out properly before you criticize what actually goes down in said scene, because it looks really good. And we get more action sequence of Suku right at the end, where Suku, okay, I believe that's Suku, beating Suku's chest, and it looks pretty cute. I think a lot of people are going to react in a positive way to that. Now, there is a lot more in this movie that they're not showing in the trailer, which is good, because it's cool to go over test screening information and to go over plot leaks, but at the same time, I don't like it when studios ruin everything. Yo, but Warstu, you go over plot leaks. Yeah, that's completely different. I'm not a studio. I have a very small audience, so it's interesting. So, careful spoilers. Scar King is going to have some device that will allow him to take control over a different monster called Shimu, who is some kind of reptile titan with crystals on his back, much like Space... Yeah, I get it. He's not Space Godzilla. I know I got it wrong. He's not actually Space Godzilla. And Scar King... secret weapon to conquer the surface world, which you can clearly see throughout the trailer, is to use Shimu. Shimu is allegedly the first Titan. He has the ability to breathe ice, frozen breath. He's capable of bringing about the Ice Age on his own, and was apparently the cause of that to happen in the past. Amongst Scar King's tribe, there's a young ape called Suku. He's actually friendly, and Kong befriends him and starts, like a father-son relationship. Apparently, the tone of the movie is similar to Godzilla vs. Kong. Wacky at times, and kind of like sci-fi elements. The movie has surprisingly strong narrative with humans, characters. Gia, an adopted mother, who's played by Rebecca Hall. And this information is true because it went on about like everything you see in the trailers. I'm trying not to ruin too much, but people that watch me want the freaking spoilers. They really do. It's still up for discussion about the whole post-credit scene, but we're not going to talk about that here. And you can see there's no end of other creatures in said trailer. Now, Adam Wingard did say that the Titanus Doug will be in this. Obviously, it's just a trailer. They're not going to show crazy amounts of stuff in said trailer, but it shows you enough. And careful spoilers, in the pyramid scene, it actually is Shimu who will be fighting in that scene, allegedly. So Shimu shows up in Egypt, freezes both Godzilla and Kong, supposedly. There is some image that's going around that kind of suggests that. And Godzilla's got to lose in order for him to have to level up, because he bossed Kong. He bossed Mechagodzilla in the previous movie with Kong's help. So I hate to say it, Godzilla's going to have to get his ass handed to him in order for him to actually level up. So I suggest you watch Monarch Legacy of Monsters, because that gives you more of a background story of Godzilla and of what Monarch were doing back in 2000. Well, it's based around the original Godzilla movie-ish, if you like. So it is pretty darn interesting. It's more interesting to me how accurate some of this information is. Scar King looks like a freaking boss, and it's clear this movie will turn Kong into the king, because the official poster said, bow to your new king. Now, Kong is King Kong, but he's never technically been called King Kong anywhere, has he? No, he hasn't. So, like always, guys, let us know, did I miss anything? If I did, let me know down below. Did I miss any of the monsters? This is not an in-depth, this is just me giving my general overviews. And yeah, clearly you can see like the wombats, if you like, the flying creatures, and we know Doug will be in it, and we know there's going to be a crazy amounts of battle. There will be a battle in a major city, because we do see a scene briefly in a major city. So it's going to be very interesting to see what other creatures are supposed to show up. We know that Mothra is supposed to appear. We know that Godzilla and Kong are going to fight in Egypt, although the trailer only shows you Kong's hand popping out with the armor. With the Infinity Gauntlet hand, that must have taken ages to make if it's physically real, because it looks freaking huge. But what happens to Kong? So Scar King and his tribe are going to have to decimate Kong in order for his hand to get fixed by most likely Monarch, because Monarch's going to have to be in it, and they're going to have to interact with Kong, because Monarch ain't going to interact with Godzilla, are they? No. So like always, guys, thank you very much for all the love and support on the most recent MonsterVerse videos we've been doing here on the channel. Like always, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful face. Check us out on Twitter, STG. And I will catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.